Hey y'all, today, of course, it's Matt Rogers. Just to start off, today we have Tim Jimenez from KYW Newsradio in Philadelphia. He does the morning drive over there. I've been doing that for a while. Tim, tell the people a little bit about yourself for the people who don't even know what KYW, what is that?
Yeah, Matt, it is the all news station in Philadelphia. We've been around for 5 decades plus, and all news, 24 hours a day we deliver the news, and I'm one of the early morning reporters, and I wake up at 2:30 in the morning every day and get out there, and I'll report whatever the top story is of the day. I'll report on for the station. I'll do live hits every half hour, and then I'll record stuff for the rest of the day, do interviews, do all kinds of things, audio editing. And sports-wise, this is fun to get to talk to sports with you. I mean, I'm excited to do this because usually I focus on news, but during the World Series run, that was maybe my favorite time covering this. Being a reporter is just being at the ballpark, just hanging out and getting to talk to, some of the people with the team and getting to talk to fans, and it's been awesome.
This year's run was electric. I mean, if my opinion for the Phillies moving forward is next year is if they actually add in and fill in, because that team to get 2 wins in a World Series, to even get to a World Series with, it had some pretty major holes. I mean, there was a lot of feast or famine, and there was a lot of feast, of course, but without somebody who can get on base the way Trey Turner can. You need to fill out and get, you were trusting Noah Syndergaard and throughout that whole run. So I'm really excited about the addition of Trey Turner.
I agree, and if they have someone who can hit, not just home runs. I know that they signed Schwarber and Castellanos, and but to have someone like a Trey Turner to kind of hit 1 or 2, that's going to be awesome. And I mean, how many times during the past few years we were like, okay, they're making a bit of a run here, but then they fall short in September. So for this to happen, it's just incredible to see.
There were so many electric moments. I mean, when Rhys Hoskins slamming the bat, you got the Bryce Harper, this is my house. You got that moment. I mean, there's some this year's team. To get right into one of the things I wanted to ask you, just this is like an anecdotal kind of on the street news person poll that I'm liking to take people's pulse on. Do you think Dancing on My Own is going to make it to next year, or is it going to be a new jam? Somebody's going to figure out another one.
I think new jam. I'm going new jam because I think every season is different, and there's a different feel to every season. There's some different people in the clubhouse. Much of the team is the same, but there's just every year is different. And what was great about Dancing on My Own, it was so organic. It just kind of, people were watching the post game and they were doing the celebration and started to sing this song. And I think if we're talking about them having a song next season, I think that's going to be awesome. That means they're on the right track. So hopefully there is a song. And we have something to celebrate.
It'll be a new jam. That's what I'm hearing. That's what the streets are telling me.
That's my vote.
So we've hear, what people are also talking about right now in terms of the Eagles is their opponents in 2 weeks. The Dallas Cowboys have made some news this week with Micah Parsons talking about that Jalen Hurts is basically that he's not really the MVP. He's a product of a good team and a good system around him. Do you think he really means that, or do you think he was trying to get into the news? Do you think he was trying to get under the Eagles' skin and really, be a firecracker in that way?
That's a great question. And I watched it a few different times. And initially I didn't watch closely enough in the beginning. I was like, oh, whatever, he says whatever. I think it's just some trash talk. And I like Jalen's response. It's just he doesn't really seem to care, or at least this doesn't affect him, and they're focusing on the Bears. That's kind of my mindset into this. It's like, what he says, whatever he's going to say. It's all about the next game. I think it's trash talk, personally. And I don't know. To me, it didn't land. Whatever. The Eagles are having a phenomenal year, and one game at a time. Bears, and then we'll get to Christmas Eve. But to me, just a little bit of trash talk that didn't really land.
So how are you feeling about, do you think it'll impact the game at all on Christmas Eve whenever, again, 2 games from now, or no, they play a game and then next Saturday they play against the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think it'll impact the game at all? And how are you feeling about that game?
I think maybe closer to it, it'll be revisited once we get past the Bears. And we're here, the week of the game, Christmas week. I think it'll maybe pop up again and stir up more emotions. Maybe more trash talk will come out of this in either direction. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great challenge. It's going to be very exciting for this to happen, on the holiday, Christmas Eve. And I like the Eagles' chances, maybe. And this is the weird thing, Matt. I'm not used to, and I don't know how many Eagles fans are used to them being so good, like this. And
because it's never happened, maybe.
Yeah. And being a Philadelphia sports
this good
fan, you are used to to be this good. And we're always waiting for the shoe to fall, the other shoe to drop. And for this team, they've just consistently overcome everything and been so consistent and so good. And Jalen is the MVP, and he's been the leader in this, I think.
This team is just, when we say this good, we mean just a complete team. And they'll lose. I think that maybe they'll lose again before the end of the regular season. I wouldn't set the expectation that they go 16-1. It's okay. But as close to a complete team as you can see, there's so much parity in the middle of the field in the NFL. There are so many teams who are middling in that 5 and 8 or that range, and up to 8 wins. But the Eagles are at 11 wins or 12 wins. I'm sorry, 12 wins. And by the time you listen to this show, we that might be shortcutting it a little bit. So
right, and yeah, even going back to the year they won the Super Bowl, there were other contenders. I think that was the thing. Like, okay, they have a shot here, but you had other contenders who you thought, okay, they're going to give the Eagles a run for their money. But this year, it just, I'm afraid to even be optimistic because of the heartbreak we've been through years for following Philadelphia sports. But I think they have a real good chance. And like you said, they're just so complete. The lines of scrimmage, both sides of the line of scrimmage. The offense has been phenomenal, and to have weapons. Yeah, Jalen is the MVP, but to have these weapons around him, it's just been extraordinary to see.
So the Eagles will be without, some of the newest stuff. It looks like Reed Blankenship, the backup to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's been going to be out for another couple weeks, it looks like, at least. Reed Blankenship, the guy who stepped in, is going to be out this week and probably in another couple weeks. What do you think that they're going to do there? Do you think that they're really going to play Anthony Harris, who they, let go before the regular season started this year, play a lot of snaps? Or they got something else up their sleeves?
It's a good question. There's Kayvon Wallace, right? He's around, and I'm guessing he'll start just because Harris is just getting in again, but Harris is a Gannon guy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. You just got to get through the next few weeks. Hopefully that's all you need, just a few weeks to get through this. So I don't know. I think Harris is going to have some playing time, and I think he'll make some kind of impact. But I think the key here is to just not let things go off the rails. And I think, with the way they've been playing and the way they've been getting pressure on the quarterback, I think they're going to be okay and just manage to weather this injury situation.
If they want to play, if they're in nickel situations, I think that they could play Josiah Scott back there at the safety position some too. Now that you have Avonte Maddox back and he's able to play that nickel corner, that slot corner. position, then you could put Josiah Scott, who played really well in Avonte Maddox's absence. You could put him there and then not have to worry so much about so many. Kayvon has definitely improved this season. You can see the evolution of his game. He's become a better. I'm not so nervous when I see 42 on the back end and the ball going in that direction. He's starting to come along kind of in a similar way late, but like Marcus Epps did. I think I'm starting to see that kind of evolution. And a few weeks ago, I wasn't saying that, especially during the Cowboys game, the first Cowboys game. They victimized him in that one.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's been improvement there. And I don't know, there's something about this team. Again, I'm afraid to be optimistic, but I think they have just the pieces. Everybody, guys are going to step up, and they still have the key pieces in place. Hopefully they stay healthy. And I think they'll still be able to stay consistent and be a good defense like they have been.
So let's pick some other. Let's go around the league and look at some other games. You got San Fran, 3-point favorites at the Seahawks, who are in the playoff picture very much themselves. Could possibly, with a win, be right there for the division championship. Who do you think wins this one?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to go San Fran. I think they're just going to keep rolling. It's Purdy, right? Who's been just
Brock Purdy
out of nowhere, Mr. What was he, the last pick in the draft? I'm going to keep rolling with him. I think just something. But it's a really good team, and I think they're going to roll here.
You're going to roll more than 3.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know, like a 28-21 type of game. I could see them winning by 7.
Okay. Miami's 7.5-point dogs at Buffalo. Division rival here. Big game.
Yeah, big game. I'm not good at picking. I'll go with the Bills.
Bills. All right. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites at the Bucks. What about that one?
I'm going with Tampa. I don't know why.
Okay.
I think they're going to start piecing stuff together, and then as we get closer to the playoffs, and then I'm going with Tampa.
At some point, are they going to let the Panthers into the playoffs?
Imagine that. You fire your coach, you trade everybody away.
They're only one. I think the Panthers are only one game out of a playoff spot. If they win this week, if the Panthers win this week and the Bucks lose, I think that they're tied.
Wow.
It would be.
And I'm a Matt Rule guy. I got my Temple sweatshirt here.
Of course.
And I wish that he did well, and I wanted him to do well there. But if they do make the playoffs somehow, things obviously weren't working before.
That's an indictment of him. It'd be hard. That's like used as like a knock when he goes to try to get the next position at a team. Is like the team got better and made the playoffs when you left.
Right, exactly. And we know something about that here, right? I mean, Joe Girardi.
Yeah, we do. That's right. Oh man, I mean, to Joe Girardi, he probably was so sour for so many months. I mean, for the Phillies to have had so many clutch moments, because the season looked like it was turning for the worse just a few times, and the Phillies just kept making plays all the way along the way, and so just the human emotion in it kind of. You don't want to see a team go and win the World Series after. Right.
And I just wonder maybe one day it'll come out, what exactly went wrong and they couldn't make it work under him. And once you have Thompson in there, the switch was flipped. Maybe one day in a book or something, it'll come out of what exactly went wrong because no one's really mentioned specifics And so it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that down the road.
It seems that between the lines, what I read between the lines is that he didn't have the personal touch. Rob Thompson did a lot of things that kind of, encouraged his players. He would play you and keep playing you, keep giving you at bats in situations with Girardi would pull you, and Girardi went really formulaic with things, whereas Rob was going by the emotion of the moment sometimes, and sometimes those things matter. Now, like you said, some time down the line, we'll find out like the actual episodes and reasons why things went the way they did. But it'll be very interesting to find out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll buy that book.
The Phillies, who beat the Astros twice when nobody else in the league beat them any times in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Giants are 4.5-point underdogs at the Commanders. What do you think about that one?
That's going to be a good one. I think the Giants are going to come back. I think they're going to bounce back from being decimated. I think that there's this extra motivation to, we want to get this division win here. So I think I'm going with the Giants.
The season's over if they lose this game to the Commanders. They're toast. I mean, that locker room is going to fold. That's just embarrassing.
Sure.
Because they shouldn't have tied the Commanders. That should have happened in the first place.
Right.
They had that game won.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just wild to see, when that happened. But I think they're going to bounce back. I don't know. Just something in me says that.
Giants come back. Dayball gets them playing with pride. They make it happen.
Yeah. So exactly.
Cowboys 4.5 favorites at Jacksonville. Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Dougie P. And Trevor Lawrence, right? He's looked decent, pretty good, I think, last week. But I'll go Jaguars. Just why not?
I'm going Jaguars too. I'm going Jaguars. I didn't plan to do a score here, but I don't usually do this, but I just feel it. I'm with you. I'm thinking Jaguars 29, Cowboys 27.
Whoa. I like that.
29-27. Trevor Lawrence outduels Dak. Dak throws a pick. Game.
Oh, I love it. I'm all for that. Let's see it happen.
And then Philly goes down to Dallas on Christmas Eve to go and get the belt. Because if they if they lose, either way, if the Eagles beat them down there, they basically won the NFC East. But if that were to happen, it would be over. So
it'd be perfect for the Eagles to deliver that sack of coal. That would be just perfect. Just perfect.
Too good. So, but they got to take care of business first in Chicago.
Yes,
where they're 9-point favorites. What are you thinking about that line, and what are you thinking about the game?
You said 9 points? 9 point favorite?
9 points. Yep.
I can see the Eagles winning by 10, 12. I can see that. I can see there possibly being not like a big letdown, but like in the beginning, maybe a little bit of maybe the Bears are going to come out swinging, and then maybe after the huge win against the Giants, kind of a bit of a slow start. But I think the Eagles are going to take care of business in a strong second half and just nail down the win.
44-21 Birds.
Oh, all right.
The Eagles just have too much horsepower. Once it gets going, and Dallas Goedert being back, and that's going to create new matchups with Stoll, where they've got, because Stoll started to make play. He started making plays in the last couple of weeks. They started to do more dump downs to the backs. I'm just afraid. I think Justin Fields is able to make so many plays. He's he's just bound to make a few splash plays that keep them at least through the first 3 quarters in the game.
Sure, David Montgomery too, really good running back, of course. Yeah, I think they could definitely make a little bit of noise, but I like where your head's at with that score. I like that.
I'm not worried at all about their receiving core. So really, they just have to clamp down on the wide receivers, and this could be a rout. So, I think it could get ugly
in the fourth quarter. Okay.
When the Bears start having to put the ball up, if the Eagles get up on these guys, it could get really ugly out there. This could turn into a pick six fest. And I don't like being bullish like that. But this one, if the Eagles take care of business, they need to go into Dallas with some momentum. That's what they need to do.
Right, and if you can get some of that some rest in that fourth quarter for the starters, hey, I'm all for it.
Get the Microsoft tablets going. I'm looking at the plays for Jalen hanging out with who they have. Is it Ian Book? Who is it that they have? Is it the third?
I'm not. It escapes me.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I'm because I know it's Gardner. I like the Gardner Minshew Boston Scott time. Let's keep it going. Let's keep getting them some time in the fourth quarter. They'll be good. So, but before we let you go, I know you like basketball. That's your thing. What are you thinking about the Sixers? Here they go. Here they come. Where are we going? What's going on?
I got to tell you, Matt. Year after year, I find a reason to be optimistic, and I have, for some reason, I am blindly a believer through the years that they're going to do great and win it all somehow. Going back to when they signed, years ago when I was a child, but like Andrew Bynum, I was optimistic about that. I was optimistic about Nerlens Noel being the next great defensive force. I was optimistic about Jahlil Okafor being somehow an awesome Tim Duncan-like player, even though he can't shoot outside in today's NBA. So I am a terrible person to ask, but I think because of I'm a crazy Sixers fan, so I have all these different emotions. But I think because they have struggled to get out of the second round year after year, and because you have Boston and you have the Celtics, you have the Celtics and you have Milwaukee, and then you have an upstart Cleveland team. I'm concerned. Did they lose? Is the window closing in this Embiid era? And I hope it's not. I'm a big fan of Joel, and I can't wait for Tyrese to get back. And I hope James has a little more in the tank to get this team over the top. So I think they're going to string together a nice run in the 3 straight after losing 3 straight. I think they're on a good path. But I'm afraid, because of all the heartbreak I've seen, Matt, that I'm to be too optimistic. So I'm not going to say here they come just yet. Not yet.
No, I don't. I'm not on the here where they come bandwagon at all this year. I'm right now with the Sixers. I'm at a lower point than I was with the Phillies, and last year was a rough season at some point with the Phillies. Yeah. The Phillies were a very disappointing team at times, but I just don't think we need Maxey to come back, and Maxey needs to be the number 2 scorer, number 1 scorer on many nights. That's for it. Then I'll say here they come. Short of that, I don't want to be dependent on James Harden to make it happen. I'm sorry. I just know who he is. He's a great player. He's a magician with the ball. But when the chips are down to get the offense started and things like that, no, I can't do that to myself. I've already been through the Philly season. I'm recovering. I don't need to open up that can of worms because I know what that is.
That's the thing. You know what that is. We all know what that is. and I want to be optimistic, and I kind of still am, as you can maybe hear me verbally go back and forth with my emotions on this team, because I'm a huge fan. So you're right, Maxey is the key to this. And, I'll give props right now to Tobias, who has played a really solid season so far, stepping in, especially with the guys getting hurt, and, filling in with what's needed, and being more willing to take that 3-point shot, and not to do too much of Tobias's old stuff, but just kind of take that open 3-point shot, even a contested 3-point shot. So credit to Tobias for at least doing that.
Are the Lakers a threat now, or with now Russell Westbrook accepting his role as the Super Six Man of the year of the decade?
I think they're done. I think the window is definitely closing there.
On championships, yeah.
As good. Yeah, I think so. And, I'm not a LeBron hater there, or anything like that. And Anthony Davis, I think, is a terrific player. But I just don't think they have enough of everything else to the right pieces around those guys.
I hear you. Well, Tim, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome talking sports with you. Would definitely hit you up to come back and talk Phils and Sixers and about the new jam when the Phillies play well again and they have a jam. We'll talk about that. But Tim, tell the people until then where we can show you some support and what you're working on and all that.
Sure. So KYW Newsradio, it's 103.9 FM in Philadelphia. We're an institution in Philadelphia. I'm proud to work at this station. I've been there for 15 years now, so I'm just grateful to be part of this team. And we have a website, KYWNewsradio.com. I'm on Twitter @TimJRadio. And also on the side, I do some basketball games for Jefferson University, Division II here in Philadelphia. Used to be Philadelphia University, Philadelphia Textile, all those different names. So it's been awesome to be part of their outdoor program doing the men's and women's games.
That's awesome. Tim, thank you so much. See you soon.